So the purpose of the recording, I'm just going to repeat a few of the stuff. We opened up the Google Sheet. The first thing we had done is open up the Google Sheet. We deleted all the columns. We found our 3 questions that we created, or we chose 3 questions that were not in order, that were not consecutive, so that I have questions that are different than others. And I deleted the other ones, the other columns. So I'm left with just the 3 questions and the responses from each of those 14 students who responded. I've then gone over into my actual assignment for this part 3. And what I have done now is I am copying and pasting over, or retyping, the 3 questions that I have. Okay. So I have the 3 questions here. So do you like the questions that were question A? Do you like shopping? Question B, have you been to Disney World? Question C, have you been on a sports team, for example. Now, this information here, what we're going to do is now we're going to record our responses. Can anybody tell me what I am asking in this first row? What am I asking you to find? What does this N parenthesis capital A refer to? We've used this notation. It's a set theory notation. What am I asking you to find? Can't even see. Didn't get any responses. The students saying they can't even see the screen. All right, so the question on hand is, I've copied the 3 responses. Now I'm going on to part 2. This one says, identify N parenthesis A. What is it asking me to find?
Is it asking how many students responded?
Responded how?
Like how many students said yes or no?
Ooh, no, not yes or no. Which one?
Just yes?
Yes. How many students said yes to what? How many students said yes to what?
The first question?
The question A, the first question, question A. So in my case, it would be how many students said yes to liking shopping. So this is how many students like shopping, who like going shopping. That's what my question would be. How many students do like shopping? How many students said yes to this question? Now, what I would do is I would go to my spreadsheet, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to count down how many yeses I have. So for my example here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11, now there's 14 in total. So I would write 14 right, or 11 right here. There were 11 students who said yes to liking shopping. I can count how many, what is this question? What is this part asking?
I think that one's asking how many students said no.
Correct. How many students said no? So I can go back and count them, or I can actually just realize that this has to be how many? Without even looking at the spreadsheet, how many have to say no then? How many said no?
3.
3. Why?
Because there's 14 in total.
There's 14 in total. So the yes and not yes, or the yes and no, should add up to 14 every single time. And then I redo the process for question B. Okay, I redo the process for question B. For this question, count how many yeses and how many nos, or count how many yeses, count how many nos, and then I record them in there. Okay? Everybody needs to do that for their own questions. Now, the purpose of here is we're going to put together a Venn diagram. That's the big thing. We're going to put together a Venn diagram, and we're going to also report out our information that we found. Okay. So these questions, there are 8 questions here, and these 8 questions represent the 8 regions of the Venn diagram. Remember, there was 8 parts, 8 little individual regions, and each one representing the intersection of 3 events, either yeses or nos. Now, I have this column over here so that you can use a column, like you can just do like however you want to note. Like every single time you find one of them, you want to go through every response. All right. So my recommendation here would actually, you might, for each response, I would put the number. So I would say like, oh, question 1 was here, person 2 was here, the third person was here, the 4th student was there, the 5th student was here, the 6th students are here. So I'm gonna do it this way, and this is how I would recommend you doing it. Which those numbers represent that response. So for example, this number, the column 2 is actually the first person. So this person responded yes, no, yes. All right. So I want to record this person's response. All right. Yes, no, yes. So I'm going to go over here. Which one of these is yes, no, yes? Where do they land? Which one of these is yes, no, yes?
Would it be the third to last one?
That would not be it. We want yes, no, yes to A, no to B, yes to C. It,
Would it be the third one?
the third row, the third row. So it would be this one right here. This is yes to A, no. Remember that prime means no, and yes to C. So what I would do is I would report that person right there, and I would just, so that one lands there. All right. Now I'm going to go to the next one. This is also a yes, no, yes. Okay, so that was kind of easy. That person goes there. The next one is yes, yes, yes. This is the third one. So where does yes, yes, yes?
The first one.
Good. The next one, well, there's a lot of yes, no's, yeses because the way these questions are. So this one's a yes, no, yes. So we know where that is. A no, no, yes. Where does that go?
The second to last row.
Good. I'll do one more. Okay, well, actually, this one's, so there's a lot of repeats in here. So no, no, yes. And then another yes, no, yes. A yes, yes, no. I'm not going to write them down anymore, but yes, yes, no would be where?
The second row.
The second row. So that would have been right there. And so I record them. Now, let's say that this was all I had. So what I'm going to do here, if these were all the responses, let's say these were all the responses I only had, and these were only ones I had, then what would I put in the number of responses? What would I put here? If this was all the responses, I'm not going to finish all 14. You're going to do this for all 14 for yours. But let's say I only had these 6 responses, and this was all the responses I had. Okay, what would go here?
Would it be just one?
Good. What would go here?
0,
Here,
3,
what here?
2.
0. These numbers should all add up to 14 for you. I'm just saying I stopped here. So you'll do it all for all 14 of your responses. You'll this that's why I graded it out. This is just for to help you tally where that person's response went into. Um, and yeah, that's it. That's what your assignment is to do. That's your whole thing. Once you've done that, you submit it, and that is your whole. That is the assignment for today. And of course, whatever you don't finish today is homework. I think you should be able to have enough time to finish. You still have 24 more minutes of class time to complete this on your own. I